this is not the side we want people to see, so we're gonna have to play around with it. This all needs to be same colors with the same characters. Now, I noticed a few different things off. So for example, we have this guy all by himself, which means he's supposed to go in the singles over here. I feel like we could take out those 3 elephants and now we can add them to this, because we're going down in quantity of what's on our displays. So if we grab these and maybe these, we can add here, and whatever's left singles, such as this cat, it can go over there. Now there's a cow here, a couple cows there. There's these gray guys along with them over here, these 2 random pinks. So there's cows over here. There's also cows over here. Those are the same cows we just talked about. So you see they're separated. Look down here. We look empty. I mean, we're not really straight, but maybe that happened during close. We want to try to get sweeps done before we leave. This is not neat. So this, we have to make sure that our labels are facing front all the time. The dragon, instead of him falling off, we could fix him up like that. Again, there was tarps on these things, right? So things mess up in the process, but just straight, everything straight. Like we got these guys on top of those. That doesn't make too much sense. It's also crushing our signage. So now we can't properly see that this is $10. In fact, these are not $10. So now the signage needs to take out. I appreciate what someone tried to do here, but it's not consecutive. So this would be the don't. And when I'm done, I'll show you the do. These guys straighten up like this. If it's straightened before we close, it won't. So at first I put them on an angle and I didn't love how it looked, but I wanted to see how it feels, because when people are walking from this direction, when they're walking from this direction, their eyes are different. So if we can link with the faces, it gives us, you know, like we notice it, right? So be that messy when we put the tarp over it. So I'm going to be redoing this all. I did the top already, so the top is neat. There was nothing on the top when I opened. I'm going to be redoing the displays to show you. Remember, look how pushed back everything is. Everything needs to be front. There should be no black here. There should only be merchandise. All because I feel like we can always look better when we close. So like this frame is not really straight. Those are there. So I don't know how he ended up over there, because I do remember putting him over here. But these, we need to get in the habit of making them look neater rather than just thrown around. So how I do it is I put them all straight up like this. And we want them consistent in comparison to that. So this over that. Guys, if you have any suggestions on how we can add more training videos, something that you really could have benefited when you first got here, or something that could benefit you now, any kind of training videos, let me know. So that's an example of how you want it to look. So it went from looking really minimal, really simple, kind of chaotic, kind of disorganized. We put it together and now it looks cohesive. Now I've took merchandise from this wall. So now I get to redo that one. So now we're going to work on reorganizing this. I've had to take merchandise from here to put it on the other display to make sure that we were full over there. So now I'm going to do all of this. What I've done is I've lifted them a little off the ground. So they're not on the ground, but they're puffed up a little bit to create that more fullness. So now what I can put there, let's take up the skin. They really need to be puffed up and beautiful before we put them in there. Otherwise, nothing will lay right. So you see, how can I expect for this to be nice and consistent if it's not consistent when it went in? The fluff is all everywhere. When we take them out of the boxes, they're squished, they're vacuum sealed. When we take them out, we need to make sure we're loving them up. Give them a little massage. Little pat on the booty. He's still not perfect. So now I'm going to go and bring it up. He will lay much better now over there. See, he's more narrow. So when you put him in, he'll do this. For him, we want him a little bit wider. So when you're putting these in, you want to make sure that they're all consistent and the same. So what I've done is I've placed them on top of each other in that way to finesse the space. So it's all about how you finesse the space you have for the quantity of merchandise that you have. You may not always have high numbers of merchandise, and we really do need to run a stock. Maybe our shipment was late. Perhaps we don't have any extras in the building. So we just have to finesse the space that we have, utilize the merchandise that we do have to create something. So now I'm going to bring those cows down here. So in order to make the 3-tier work, I had to make some changes over here because I had to take some things out. I totally finessed the space here. There's nothing behind them, of course, it's just the two of them. I only had 4 and they were 2 and 2. I had to put them on top of each other to finesse my space so I look more full. So I also turned these guys and even though the tongues went back in, I flipped them out. So look at the difference. These are tongues I flipped out, these are tongues I didn't touch. It puffs them up in a sense and it gives them more of a full feeling, just like the flowers. These are fabrics that we have the opportunity to mold and shift. If something looks like this, we're able to pop it out and really, I mean, you need 2 hands, but you know what I mean. You can get it to stick up. We want that boldness. We want to puff them out. We want our tongues to be full and out. Not like when we fresh take them out of the package. Everything needs a flufferoo before it gets on the displays. And the people are forming. I want to show you what I've done with the top. Those flowers in this is exquisite. Look at how beautiful. Listen, if you've never really picked flowers, like fresh flowers, like you're going to buy fresh flowers, if you've never picked fresh flowers, go and do it. The feeling of taking the rose by its stem out of the thing is so beautiful. This is so exquisite. This is so simple but delicate and beautiful, and I think it's such a wonderful gift. And again, we can always puff these out so they look like they're blooming a bit more. What I've also done is, trying to get this guy back in here. What I've also done is I've pulled them out a little bit. So I'm making them look grander. See, like there's one in there. Poor guy, let's get him out of there. Look at that, he's ready to catch some sun rays. So I think this is an exquisite form of marketing. If we could even get some fairy lamps to put in here, maybe we can sell them just like that. That is beautiful. So I'm gonna rearrange things here so it looks more full, because that looked beautiful here. I think for closing, it might be easier to put those things on top, but I'm gonna add more to this as soon as I can. I'm gonna rearrange some things and I'll show you guys the before and after. Okay, I would love some feedback. So this is what I've done. So these 2 in the back are the only ones we've had. So what I've done is I put the 4 and then notice I put them in the middle and they're pushed up against. So there's space behind them. I could push them back, But with them all forward like that, you guys know the deal. This side, if I had more product, I would put it here, but I want to focus more on where people would walk. One second, you guys take a look. Hello, good afternoon. You let me know if you have any questions. Everything's 50% off. Okay, so I was running out of bobas. I had to take some from over here. So now this is going to be my next project, working on with what I have. Also, I turned on that one. Can anybody tell me where the plug is? I was looking. Well, maybe when I go clean it, I'll find it, actually. I want to focus on this. See what happens when you put them all together by color. So they're all the purples, buongiorno, all the purples, the pinks, the blues, whites, yellows, red, right? And I just pretend that there was a line. And I just put them all on the line. And so they're all row by row, really neat and organized. And it just looks very, very neat and very nice. I love this. This is exquisite. This is so beautiful.